So in today's video, I thought I'd show you a few fun ways to make some artificial floral arrangements. We're going to do a couple different arrangements using a couple different techniques, so I hope you enjoy. This arrangement right here was arranged in a block of floral foam. If you'd like to see how this specific arrangement was put together, you can find that video on my YouTube channel. But I'm just going to move this one out of the way. So of course, one of the very first things you'll need to make your floral arrangements are some containers. Now, like I said, we're going to make a few different types of arrangements. These three will be kind of floral arrangements in some artificial water. This one is going to be kind of a faux plant arrangement. And then this one, I'm just going to show you how to arrange some stems, some artificial stems, to make them look more natural, but without using artificial water, which in this case is okay because this container is opaque, so you can't see the stems. To keep it on the inexpensive side, when shopping for vases, consider looking at places like thrift stores and rummage sales, and even the dollar store, because you can find quite a few interesting, neat vases at places like those. So the very first arrangements we're going to put together are the ones that'll be in the artificial water. There are lots of different types of artificial water that you can use to make these arrangements. This just happened to be one that was readily available at one of the local craft stores, and it's called Quick Water. So before I start mixing together the artificial water, I want to have my floral stems pruned to the proper height and have kind of an idea of how I want these arrangements to look. And just like the arrangements that you find in stores like Home Goods, I plan on not filling these too full with water and just kind of have a little bit of the artificial water just barely in the bottoms of the vases. So before I mix this together, I've already pruned some stems that I plan on using in some of these artificial arrangements. Now, for these two little arrangements, I'm just going to kind of put a few of these artificial flowers, and I kind of have a spot in my home that I plan on using these little arrangements, and I'm totally okay with them not being exactly the same. For this larger vase, I plan on having a little bit larger and fuller of a floral arrangement. And so for this one, I have some white magnolias with a little bit of textured floral and this interesting variegated looking leaves or leaf stems. And the way that this vase is shaped, it makes all the stems kind of collect straight in the bottom. So that will kind of actually make it easy when it comes to putting this floral into the artificial water. So I'm going to take the floral out and make sure that the vases are clean on the inside so that you don't have any dust or extra things floating in the artificial water. So I'm going to add it to the smaller vases first. I just want a hint in the bottom of these. And I'm going to add some to this larger vase. So then I'm just going to add my fake floral. So I'm just going to carefully set those in there. Now, these are supposed to sit undisturbed for the period of time that it takes for them to cure. So make sure you have a spot that you want to put these where it's not going to be in the way for that time period. And finally, I'm going to add these to the large vase very carefully. Now, once your floral is added, you want to arrange them how you want them to sit, because that is how they will stay. Of course, you'll be able to bend any floral above the water, but anything below the artificial water is going to be how it is. So arranging your stems now is a good idea. Okay, so I'm just going to set these aside. So next we're just going to put together a simple artificial plant. So the first thing I'm going to do is add some floral foam into this container. As you can see, the floral foam block is a decent amount larger than the container, so I'm going to have to cut it. So first I'm going to remove the plastic, and just to make it a little bit easier on myself, I'm just going to go like that so I have a nice outline to cut. Okay, so I have my floral foam in the container. So the next thing I'm going to do is add an artificial floral stem. Now this is one that kind of looks to me like a little tiny tree, so I just thought it was really cute. So I'm just going to poke this right in the center here. Now the nice thing about this is you can kind of decide what height, to an extent, that you want your artificial plant. So then finally, we're just going to add some moss to cover the floral foam. And there you have a cute little artificial plant. This is another version of an artificial plant that I put together. This was just, again, another artificial floral stem, and I added moss, but a little bit lower in this container. And I actually painted this planter to give it kind of an aged look, which is also another video you can find on my channel as well. So this next arrangement is really, really simple. And because we're going to make it in an opaque container where you can't see the stems, we're not going to use any artificial water or moss or anything like that. So this is just a very, very easy floral arrangement. And to make it even easier, because it's spring, we're going to do just a little arrangement of artificial tulips. Now I've already pruned off some of the base of the stem just so that it sits at the right height in this container. But one thing I'm going to do is bend the tulips outward so that the arrangement is a little more natural looking. Because one thing I find with artificial floral is a lot of the stems are just very, very, very straight, and it doesn't look natural. So I'm going to give just a little bit of a curve to these flowers before I place them in the container. And then I am actually going to just pull them outward so that they're a little bit more spread out. And the tulips don't all have to bend out the same direction. You can have some bending kind of towards each other or bent lower than others, because that will also give it a more natural look. And so I'm just gonna keep getting these a little bit more outwards so they're not all together. But even now, it's looking a lot more natural than it did at first. Then I'm just going to place that into the container. And there you have another incredibly simple, great looking floral arrangement. And if you have a clear vase that you'd like to use floral in, there's no rule saying you have to use artificial water. It's just kind of another fun thing that's out there to use. But for this one, for Easter, I placed some decorative eggs in the bottom with the floral to kind of hide the floral stems, but also just to give kind of an interesting springy look. So yeah, those are just a few ways to use artificial floral to make decorations for your home.